Hello bachcho. So welcome to the fourth episode of What's the Problem? And today I'm going to tell you about a case. It was a young girl who came to me with this. She had a facial swelling and acute pain on the right side of her face since 4 days. The swelling was not so severe since the first 2-3 days, so she was sitting at home waiting for the pain to get over. But now on the fourth day, the swelling was very severe. You can see the obvious facial asymmetry from the right and left side in the straight view and in the oblique view. Now tell me, what is your diagnosis? Intraorally, when I check this patient, I see a carious upper right premolar tooth, a first premolar which is carious and has deep caries. So what do you think it is? What is your diagnosis? Yes, most of you guessed it right. It is a buccal space infection. Okay, you can see in the bird's eye view also the gross asymmetry on the right and left difference, and this is the swelling which is very obvious in these pictures. Now why do I call it a buccal space infection? If we see the definition or the boundaries of the buccal space, you know that it starts from the corner of the mouth, goes back up to the masseter and the pterygomasseteric region. Inferiorly it is there up to the mandible and superiorly up to the infraorbital region. Superficially it comes up to the subcutaneous tissue, and deeply it is up to the buccinator muscle. So it is above the buccinator muscle that a ball shaped swelling is there, which is why we call it the buccal space infection. Okay, now how is it important? Why do we need to treat it? Because the buccal space has a lot of important structures like the parotid duct, the anterior facial artery and vein, the transverse facial artery and vein may be found here, and the buccal fat pad, the buccal extension of the buccal fat pad is present there. Okay, so all these structures will be encountered, which is why whenever we do a drainage of the buccal space or any space, we do a blunt drainage. We take a Halsted forceps or an artery forceps, close it, insert into the space, open it into the space and come out. So this is the Hilton's method of incision and drainage. What is the most common cause of buccal space? As I said, it is, in this case it was the upper 4, but it could be the maxillary premolar teeth, the maxillary molar teeth, or the mandibular premolar teeth, which can cause a buccal space infection. That is the primary space which is involved. What is the meaning of primary space? The first space which is involved is known as the primary space. What is secondary space? After the primary space, the swelling or the infection can pass on to other spaces also. In buccal space infection, it can go into the infraorbital space, it can go posteriorly into the pterygomandibular space, it can go laterally into the infratemporal space also. So it should not be taken lightly. It is one of the important causes of morbidity in a patient. So as soon as it is identified, do not let the sun set on pus, which means as soon as you see an abscess or an infection, it should be treated immediately. And what is the treatment of space infection? Surgery. The first and the foremost treatment is incision and drainage. Obviously, you will take an aspirate, you will send the pus for culture and sensitivity, and along with that, you will start an antibiotic therapy, fluids, and whatever is the need of the patient. But that is a supportive therapy. Fluids, rest, antibiotics, everything is supportive. The primary treatment is remove the focus of infection, remove the cause, which is the first premolar tooth in this case, do an RCO or extract the tooth, but remove the focus of infection. And what I did in this case was through the same approach, intraoral approach, I extracted the tooth, and through the same vestibule, I entered into the buccal space and did a drainage. Okay. Young girl, healthy girl, healing happened fine within a few days. Swelling was there for a few days, but it settled down. Along with that, a lot of fluids, oral fluids, because this was an ambulatory patient, not an admitted patient. So I didn't need to give her IV fluids. I just advised her to take a lot of oral fluids. One last thing which I would want to tell you is, sometimes, as young doctors, when we see a space infection, we expect that we will put an incision and suddenly a lot of pus will come out. Yes, that does happen a lot of times, but sometimes there is no pus. Okay, why do you say no pus? Because there are 3 stages of infection. Alright, there is inoculation. So I'll write it down here for you guys. There is inoculation, followed by cellulitis, followed by abscess. Okay, those who have attended my lectures, they know that what are the differences between these stages. So inoculation is the first few hours when the infection is setting in into the spaces. So you don't have much symptoms. Cellulitis is the most aggressive, bad looking stage when there is lot of redness, lot of heat, lot of inflammation, lot of pain, but no pus. Okay, in inoculation, most of the pathogens are aerobic. Okay, there is enough oxygen in the tissues that aerobic bacteria can live. Aerobic bacteria, the ones which live on oxygen. In cellulitis now, some bacteria are dying, some cells are dying of the body. So now the oxygen is being consumed in that space. So now there is a mixed bacteria. Some are aerobic, some are anaerobic. So there is a mixed population, and it is the most severe looking stage, which is the cellulitis stage. And remember, in cellulitis, there is no pus. So a lot of times when the patient is in the cellulitic stage, you still have to do incision and drainage for decompression of the space. And when the abscess stage happens, the cellulitis will progress into abscess in normal people. Except when it is necrotizing fasciitis, it will spread in the cellulitic phase only. But most of the cases, after 4-5 days, the cellulitis phase transfers into an abscess phase. What is abscess? Abscess means fluctuant. There will be a kind of a water balloon kind of feeling when the lot of cells are dying, lot of bacteria are dying, and the dead cells, dead bacteria form what is known as the pus. Okay, in the abscess stage, most of the bacteria are anaerobic, which is why we give anaerobic antibiotics, drugs which are acting against anaerobic pathogens like clindamycin or metronidazole. Okay, so inoculation, cellulitis and abscess, 3 stages. This patient was in abscess stage, so we drained, we took the pus, sent it to culture. Along with that, we started empirical antibiotics like penicillins or cephalosporins with an anaerobic cover of metronidazole or clindamycin. Since she was not very sick, we gave her oral antibiotics. Since she was a healthy patient, not threatening the airway a lot, so we did it under local anesthesia on the dental chair, extracted the tooth, gave her the supportive treatment, asked her to take a lot of fluids, asked her to take good bed rest, and within a week or so, she was fine. Alright, so this is how you see a buccal space infection, and that's how you managed it. So that's the 4th episode of Guess the Pathology. What is the problem? I hope you liked it. Do leave your comments in the comment box and let me know what else I can help you with. Thank you so much.